Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living North Metro. I'm Reverend Michael Torphy.
I'm Reverend Valerie Torphy.
And we got with us Greg and Sheila Fawson, our producers.
Hi, everybody. We're up in Summit County, Colorado.
We
Today,
have Ernestine Garcia is going to be doing the readings and the affirmations. And our special guest music, our Barb and Salo. We just love having him here. And they bring so much joy to the service. So thank you all for
We are
everything.
so happy to be here.
We can get going with the evocation.
So I just invite you to just close your eyes, take a deep breath, and we recognize that we're breathing in the breath of God. As we breathe out any worries or troubles or things that are holding us back this morning, we just breathe it out and let it go. And we just breathe in that breath of God, knowing that God is the beating our heart and breathing our breath. That we think our thoughts through the oneness and the one mind of God. So I just bless this day. Bless each person here present as part of the service. I bless each one watching the service in any way at this time or later. And I just know that this is a day that God has made and that we're just absolutely blessed and we're the blessing. And so in absolute gratitude, I just let this go, knowing that our service unfolds in absolute ease and grace and effortlessness. And I allow it to be, knowing it's already done in the mind of God. And together we say,
And
So it is.
Thank you. So we're going to get going with some music.
Yay.
Got Barb and Salo ready to rock this out.
Here is a song that is on our last CD. It is already done. It's called You Are a Child of God, inspired by Marianne Williamson. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we're powerful beyond measure. It is our light that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be so brilliant? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. You are a child of God. We are meant to shine as children do. You are a child of God. You are a child of God. We are meant to shine as children do. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. You are a child of God. You are a child of God. We are meant to shine as children do. You are a child of God. You are a child of God. We are meant to shine as children do. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we're powerful beyond measure. It is our light that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be so brilliant? Actually, who are you not to be?
so beautiful. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you.
And it fits in with what we're talking about today.
Oh, yeah.
Always
There's-
does.
Always does.
Yep. One mind.
That's right.
We'll be right back to you. We got some business to take care of, and then we'll have you do another song.
Awesome.
Check out our website, cslnorthmetro.org. You can go to contact us to add yourself to the email list. You can go to the prayer request to get prayers for the week, and the affirmations and the prayers are on our website too. And there's all the things that we're doing too. We're starting a class next week, the Essential Earnest. I will be putting the information up on the website, but if that's something that you're interested in, please do email us at info@cslnorthmetro.org so that we can get the information out to you and we can get you started at the class. So if you shop on Amazon and you're not supporting another nonprofit, please consider just going to smile.amazon.com and selecting CSL North Metro as your charity, and then we get paid when you shop.
Yeah.
Today's title is A Radiant Point of Light. You've already met our guest artist who we love, love, love. And today's reading is from 365 Science of Mind, A Year of Daily Wisdom from Ernest Holmes by Ernest Holmes. Okay, I'm all done now. So are we ready for affirmations? Yay, from Ernestine. Welcome, welcome. Good morning.
Good morning. And before I read the affirmations, I just want to thank Stephen Anthony, who writes these affirmations for us. Okay. Affirmations for the week of October 17th, 2021. The love I choose to express is the love I accept back.
The love I choose to express is the love I accept back.
Where change is needed, there is clarity and graceful actions.
Where change is needed, there is clarity and graceful action.
The universe always puts me on the right path and supports me fully.
The universe always puts me on the right path and supports me fully.
I embody the perfect flow of harmony in every aspect of my life.
I embody the perfect flow of harmony in every aspect of my life.
Everywhere I am is a sacred place that I honor with my thoughts, words, and actions.
Everywhere I am is a sacred place that I honor with my thoughts, words, and actions.
Each day I am greeted with the opportunity to explore the thrill of humanity's oneness.
Each day I'm greeted with the opportunity
to explore the thrill of humanity's oneness.
And together we say, and so it is. Okay, today's reading is from 365 Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes. We should realize that all the great scriptures have taught one identical message: the unity of good. All the sacred books have been inspired by the one mind. Each in its own tongue has told the story of reality. I am the Lord, I change not, was revealed to the Hebrew mystic. To the great Chinese sage came the same message. The Tao cannot change. It has no name. And to Hermes, God is in itself, by itself, full and perfect. If we can bring to this glorified conception the realization that this divine being is the breath of our breath, omnipresent, forever within us, then we shall realize that we live in one eternal and perfect mind. An excerpt from the sacred books on the attributes of God says there is no variableness in God, since God is eternal, immortal, and infinite. Nevertheless, God is that from which every transformation arises. This means that while we live in the eternal, which does not change, we are forever drawing from it the possibility of the manifold expressions that give variety to existence and that make living interesting. I know that the changeless abides within me. I am calm and peaceful in the midst of confusion. I know that nothing moves the soul. Peace, infinite peace, is at the center of my being. I live, move, and have my being in that which is perfect, complete within itself. That self is myself. And together we say, and so it is.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Great message. We got some more
We
music.
do. Yay.
Yeah. Barbara and Sallow.
Good morning.
Oh,
Good morning.
yay.
Yay.
And I gotta say, I love the name of that class, Essential Earnest.
Yeah.
That is a really, I just love it. So I hope you get lots of people joining that one.
It's a fairly new one, so
I'm
and it's
digging it.
been rewritten. So for those of you who've had it before, it's new and improved.
And essential.
That's right.
I love that. Oh, here's a song by Ricky Byers to get us going, get us moving, dance around, and get us all primed and pumped for your wonderful words that are going to follow after this song. I got up this morning singing, God is so good. I got up this morning singing, God is so good. I got up this morning singing, God is so good. My God is so good to me. I got up this morning singing, God is so good. I got up this morning singing, God is so good. I got up this morning singing, God is so good. My God is so good to me. Feeling good down in my soul, yeah, God is so good. Feeling good down in my soul, yeah, God is so good. Feeling good down in my soul, yeah, God is so good. My God is so good to me. In my time of trouble, I'm singing, God is so good. In my time of trouble, I'm singing, God is so good. In my time of trouble, I'm singing, God is so good. My God is so good to me. In my time of triumph, I know God is so good. In my time of triumph, I know God is so good. In my time of triumph, I know God is so good. My God is so good to me. When the day is o'er, I'm singing, God is so good. When the day is o'er, I'm singing, God is so good. When the day is o'er, I'm singing, God is so good. My God is so good to me. Every day and every way, God is so good. Every day and every way, God is so good. Every day and every way, God is so good. My God is so good to me. When I take the time to praise the Spirit, God is so good. When I take the time to praise the Spirit, God is so good. When I take the time to praise the Spirit, God is so good. My God is so good to me. I got up this morning singing, God is so good. I got up this morning singing, God is so good. I got up this morning singing, God is so good. My God is so good to me. I got up this morning singing, God is so good. I got up this morning singing, God is so good. I got up this morning singing, God is so good. My God is so good to me.
your God and our God is so very, very good to me.
Yeah,
Woo-hoo!
awesome.
Yes.
That's the way to kick things off.
That's right.
Yes.
You got the energy boiling.
That's right.
Yeah, baby.
Thank you.
Thank
We're going to do
you.
our thing now, and we'll be back to you a little bit later.
Sounds good.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We are blessed.
Yes. So that song asked so many questions, and I got one question that I want to ask everybody. Did you wake up this morning and tell yourself that you are a radiant point of light? Did you know that you are a radiant point of light? It's true. It's light energy. We are self-aware, conscious, light energy. That's who we are. We're not this body, although we get to enjoy it. We are light energy. And we come into this world as light energy in a body. And all the great teachers, Jesus being the greatest, have all said, you are the light. We are the light.
Mm-hmm.
So the funny thing about it is when we come into this reality we call Earth and life, it seems like we come with a dimmer switch. And as we go through life, we meet people who put us down, or we go through things that aren't pleasant. Maybe we weren't blessed with the perfect family. And little by little, our light gets dimmed down, dimmed down, dimmed down. And maybe once in a while, something will happen and it'll get dimmed up a little bit. But the dimmer should be up all the way, all the time, because your light is worthy of being in this world to shine and uplift others. So it's like giving permission for other people to shine. Any single moment that you get clarity that your dimmer switch is being pushed down a little bit, you can push it back up just by being aware that it's happening. And it's a good thing to be aware, because awareness is a big part of our teaching.
That's right.
When you become aware of who and what you are and where you are on this this moment to moment life path, then you can make the changes that's needed to not be hurt, to not worry, to not be fearful, but to be the fullness of who and what you are, because we are self-aware light energy. And the good news is that as we recognize this light, it becomes brighter. The more we recognize it, the brighter we get. And I compare this light energy that's within me and that's within you as like a home, a place to go to, a sacred sanctuary of peace and harmony and freedom and power. And in this home, you get to be everything you want to be. You can allow yourselves to be free to live the life that you want to live. Because if you compare it to like the physical home, like the home you grew up in with your parents, the home that maybe after you've left home and established your own home, whether it's apartment or house or whatever. And then there's home of being in the city. Reverend Valerie and I just went to what used to be a home for me in San Francisco. And it still is a home for me, because you never lose a home. You just manifest more homes in your life. Mm-hmm. And that home is the sacredness of you. We went to visit my daughter and my grandkids and my son-in-law and people who knew my mother. We went there to scatter her ashes and say goodbye in this lifetime and see you soon well, not that soon.
That's right, not that soon.
See you in the future when we change our homes from the physical to the spiritual, to the place where wherever our next journey takes us is where we'll be. So Oh, there's other homes. There's the planet Earth as at home. But the home that is within us is the home of qualities, that everything that God is in our home, within, we are. So if God is good, then we are good. If God is peace, then we are peace. If God is joy, then we are joy. And they're all there within you, the home of your being, the sacredness of your soul, the goodness of who and what you are. When you're home, there's a certain amount of freedom. I don't know about you, but at home, I can do what I want. I can be who I am. And sometimes when you go out into the world, when you leave your home and you go out in the world, you might do things that aren't exactly who you are. You may, for instance, there may be a person who's in your life that you want to be in your life, but they're not there supporting you in the way that you feel you should. And it keeps you from saying sometimes what you may want to say to please and to make it comfortable for them. Well, that isn't a place for home. That isn't what we call home. That is us acting out outside. No, not outside. Us acting out in a way that takes us away from our home. So if I'm home, I can do as I please. For instance, I remember once, I don't know if I can say this from the pulpit. Oh, what the heck. I'll say it anyway. I left something downstairs and I'd already undressed. So I put on my slippers and I started to go downstairs, and Valerie started laughing at me because there I was in my nakedness in a pair of slippers. But that was freedom because I was at home. I could do that. I could be all I wanted. And you can be that wherever you are. Well, I wouldn't suggest doing it out in the streets because you might get arrested, which would give you another home. And it's all good all the time. But we're called to recognize within ourselves that if anything is bothering you, if there's anything that may be heavy on your mind, like I was sharing earlier, that I still have some heaviness, but also some lightness kind of together from the trip home to San Francisco, because releasing my mom was a very deep and sad kind of event for me, but I was happy to know that she was in my life and she gave so much to me. And she was, again, a place of home. Your mother, your father, your spouse, your children, they're all the places of home. And home is recognized from that center of your being. So when I recognize my daughter, I recognize home. When I recognize Reverend Valerie, I recognize home. And as a matter of fact, we're broadcasting right now from home.
That's right.
So home, again, is within. And you can journey there anytime you please. I want to read something by Mother Teresa. And it has to do with being yourself, being all that you're meant to be. She says, often you can see power lines running alongside the street. Unless current is flowing through them, there is no light. The power line is you and I. The current is God. We have the power to allow the current to flow through us and thus to generate the light of the world. That is such a great picture that we are the power lines and God is the current. And when you journey within and get home, because home is wherever you are. That just reminded me of a lyric. Papa was a rolling stone. Wherever he was, wherever he laid his hat was his home. We won't go to the next part because he left him with alone. My mom left me with the with the home that she had built,
Mhm.
and the part of her that is still within me, and that is home, and it will always be an eternal truth for me forever. Really.
Yeah. So while we were having that experience with Michael's mom, uh, my mom transitioned last year. Well, actually, was it the year before? Anyway, she she transitioned during that time when nobody could go anywhere, and we were just really. And so interestingly, I was calling her every day because she lives in Grand Junction, and sometimes it's 4 hours away. Sometimes Glenwood Canyon's closed, and it's a really long way. I was calling her every day, and that particular day, we talked to her about 3 hours, and she had dementia, and so a lot of times she would say the same things over and over. And so I would just tell stories, and sometimes I told stories I'd already told other times. And that particular day, I just was thinking about all of the things that I appreciated about her. That that had she not taught me those things, I'd either have had to learn them by myself, or maybe I wouldn't have learned them. And so I got the opportunity to just really tell her thank you. And I didn't know it would be the last time we talked, but to just tell her thank you. Thank you for being there for me. Thank you for teaching me this. Thank you for teaching me that. Thank you for being there for me during this. And so when I felt like I couldn't go to the funeral because of the way things were at the time, I felt like we had our final time together where we got to share that bond of that oneness that we are. And I know that when we let go of people in this particular physical plane, we're not letting go of them forever. We're just letting go of the physical part of them.
Yeah.
We're not actually even letting go. We're not letting go of the memories. We're not letting go of the presence. We're just letting go of that physical presence, which sometimes causes us a sadness. And then we get to remember all of the presence that they are that we have. And so I actually want to start this with kind of a deep thing that Ernest Holmes said. And then I want to talk about it. In moments of deepest realization, the greatest mystics have sensed that one life flows through all, and that all are some part of that life. They have also seen substance, a fine, white, brilliant stuff forever falling into everything, a substance undescribable, and eternal life that is at such times that they have been blended by the light of which we have been speaking. So basically, what I think he's saying is that for those of us who can see it, we're all light, and we always are. Mm-hmm. And we're always shining that brilliant light. And some of us have gotten to a deeper place within ourselves where we can see that light with others, but all of us can feel it. And so I know that there are times when I've seen that light. And I know that there are times when I feel that light. And we all have times and places where we just really recognize that absolute oneness and wholeness and innocence and allness with everything, where we can see it, we can feel it, we can touch it. Mm-hmm. And I remember one of the times I was living in Grand Junction at the time, and we had the Grand Mesa on one side of us and the Colorado National Monument on the other side of us. And we lived at an elevation where you get that thing called alpenglow, where colors are just like magnificently amazing at that particular time of day when the sun is setting. I'm coming up over this hill, and I'm coming down the hill, and everything was just lit up. And I could feel it so strong. I can feel it just thinking about it, that I had to remind myself, you're driving a car. You have to be present right now. Because it was just like, oh, I could just float away right in this moment, because I feel this presence so strongly. And so I know that we all have those times where we feel that presence, those people that we we meet when we see that light and feel that presence. And then we also can feel the darkness. And in the Talmud, they talk about pray not that sinners may perish, but that the sin itself may disappear. I just love that, because we're knowing that that light is within everyone all of the time, whether it's showing or it isn't. I mean, the dimmer switch may be really, really on. There are certain people where, as we're looking out, we don't see that light. And so as we're praying that the sin may disappear, we're not condemning the person or having to. I know when I allow myself to get in judgment about something, it dims my light.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's when I can stay in that place where I know who I am and I know pretty much why I'm here. I mean, it changes and it grows and it expands. And there are times when we're going through a thing that leads us to the thing that we're supposed to be doing, where we're like depressed or sad, or, you know, where we're dim for a while. But sometimes even then, when I was going through those things, I knew Spirit was saying, you know, you're not supposed to be here anymore. There's more for you to do. There's this other thing over here you got to do, and you got to leave this before you can get over there.
Mm-hmm.
And so what we just need to remember is each one of us has that light within, that glow, that power, that presence that is this divine spirit within each one of ourselves. That as we look at other people, as we look for that light, as we see that light, I know when we recognize another person, especially when there's somebody that doesn't normally get recognized in that way, you can see the light coming up.
Mm-hmm.
You can see the light coming up. And so all of us are light. I just want to remind people of that story that you told me about Reverend Michael Beckwith when he was in Africa.
Oh yeah.
You want to tell that story?
Well, he was visiting a spiritual teacher there, and it was late at night, and they were going to go into the woods, and they went into the woods, and they were doing whatever they're doing, exploring whatever they're exploring. But when he came out, he thought he was going to get. He didn't know how he was going to get out and make it safely. But all of a sudden, with these teachers that he's with, the forest started to light up, and it was like he compared it to when Moses saw a bush,
Burning bush, yeah.
light up. It was a mystical experience for him. He actually saw this forest light up because we have in our mind things that block us from seeing that. We're all capable of seeing that because we can see the light in each other. We can see the light in animals and bugs. And if we get to the place where we can free ourselves enough to really see in another dimension.
Yes.
But he talked about that experience a lot clearer than I'm telling it right now. But I could see his light get brighter as he talked about it, because it was an exciting journey for him, kind of like going back to his ancestral roots and living in a freer way, a way that's not controlled by your car, by your TV, by all the things that are in our lives. There's just a freedom.
Well, I think that most of us start out with that light and knowing that light and feeling that light. And I think for a lot of us, it kind of gets stuffed down because that's not. So I can remember having this imaginary friend.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a lot of us have those imaginary friends. And I've often wondered, was that somebody really just coming to visit me? Or was it just made up like my mother said it was? I really don't know, because
I
it
know.
was what it was, you know? And well, it could have been either, because I have a pretty good imagination too. So it really could have been either. And I think as little kids are describing what they see and how the world is and what they are, we should allow them to do that, because they might just be they are in a lot of ways just a lot more aware than we are, because we've been trained out of it. And I know that there were things I just knew, that it didn't really matter what anybody said. I just knew. Like, there was a thing on Facebook this week that talked about how, regardless of the color that we are, regardless of where we were born on the planet and what our experience is, we're all one. And I have always known that. There's not a fiber in my being that doesn't know that the outside appearance of each one of us and whatever it is that we're going through changes who we are,
Right.
and how we are, and how we are our very beingness. It doesn't dim the light. It doesn't change. We're all one, regardless of anything and everything, regardless of whether we agree with a person or we disagree with a person, or they're from somewhere else, or we can understand them or we can't. It's all the same. We're all one. And so I can think of times when I've really felt the darkness in a place or in a person or in a thing. And when I had kind of a tendency to just shy away from that, because I didn't know how to deal with it. I didn't. But I also know how it is when you can feel the light, when you see the light, when you know the light, when you can. And I know it happens. It happens a lot when I'm in the service. It's just like Barb and Salo are singing, and it's all. I mean, I can see it, I can feel it, and we all know it. So we all have those experiences where we know what the darkness is or can be, and what the light is. And sometimes, just with a smile, you can turn the light on for somebody else. You can remind them who they are, who they came here to be. And so as we go through our journeys and our beings, if we just remember, everything is made of light. That, I mean, experiments have been done with the light from the plants and how they emit that light, and how we also, most of humans have a very small spectrum of light that we can see and colors that we can see. So there's a really lot more going on out there than we can even know, because of the restrictions of being human.
Right. And all the experiences we've had have added up and have put that dimmer at a place where it's a little more difficult to raise it a little bit. So we do see the light. So we do see even people that, like, you're driving along and you see some person who is obviously challenged mentally, because he's standing on a corner talking to himself and maybe taking clothes off or doing what we call strange things. But still, right where he is, the eternality of God is, the perfection of God is. And we don't know where he may be to be acting out this way. He may be in another dimension, stuck and having a hard time in this dimension. We don't know. But what I do know is that that light that is within me is the same light that is within him. And who am I to judge it? Who am I to say that way he's acting is abnormal? Because what's normal? Normal is living in the grace of God. Normal is allowing yourself to be open and free to attract everything you need in your life for reasons of why you came here.
Mm-hmm.
Just for that, just living for that purpose. And I do know that whenever something is challenging me and I get further away from the home that I call my within, that I can always go back there. I can always go home to myself and know that all is well all the time. I can depend on that, as you can. So claim it. You're a radiant point of light, a radiant point of light
All the time.
all the time. I can remember when, I forget who coined it, but they coined all our spiritual centers as radiant points of light, that they're the same light. In other words, Centers for Spiritual Living is the same light as Centers for Spiritual Living North Metro, or Centers for Spiritual Living, whatever, San Francisco, Alaska, that each one is a point of light, which is part of the whole light. And it can be broken up in all kinds of ways, but there's only one.
That's right. And they just did it again with all the peace doves.
Yeah,
And all our little names are on the doves. I don't, if you get the Science of Mind magazine, you already know about this, but Centers for Spiritual Living just hung, I think it's 1,000 peace doves. And I happened to be up there the day they were putting the centers' names on them. So all of the centers have their name on one of the doves. And I got to stick our name on ours. And then we got to have an amazing ceremony when they were all up there. And
they were, what's that folding?
origami.
Yeah, they're origami doves. So somebody had to fold all those.
Well, there's a group of people at Mile High who started doing those peace doves, I think after 9/11, but I could be mistaking when they started it. And so they've been doing those peace doves every time that there's a violent action and sending them for many, many, many years now. So we're very honored that we get to have our name on one of those doves hanging at Centers for Spiritual Living.
And it's all about the light. All those people folding all those things, putting their light into those doves, and then having the names of the different points of light called Centers for Spiritual Living all over the globe in different forms. It's all this one light, and it gets brighter and brighter as we recognize it.
That's right.
And we keep it alive in our home within.
Okay, so
So what?
I'm going to pray.
Oh, okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
You ready to pray?
Yes. So as we breathe in, breathing in that light and that love and that amazing wondrousness that is, knowing that there's only that one life, that one power, that one presence that is everywhere present all of the time, in as each one of us, that there is no place outside of that one power and that one presence, that there is only that one God, that one life, that one presence. And so I am blessing each and every one of us and understanding that we recognize the light of God that we are, and that we take away the blinders, and that we take away all the shields and all the defenses that sometimes dim that light, and we just allow that light to shine as we become that light that we came here to be. And so we are that oneness, that allness, that isness, that light, that love, that power, that presence. And so I'm just so grateful to know that truth. And I pass this word to Reverend Michael.
No. I don't think there's anything else that can be said. We are the light, and that light is forever glowing eternally. And I just invite you in this moment to raise the dimmer by thinking of things that you're thankful for. Just consider.
Thank you. Thank you.
And think of one more thing that you're thankful for. Allow your light to shine so brightly as you go out into the world and do whatever you're going to do today.
Yes, yes, yes.
Being every being you see, your dimmer gets turned up a little notch.
Yes.
Every person you recognize, the dimmer gets turned up a little more. Everyone you smile to, everyone you say a nice thing to, the dimmer gets turned up. And the brightness of what you are shines and transforms life, existence, and all that is unlike the goodness of who and what you are.
That's right.
And so I'm grateful eternally,
Yes.
so very grateful, knowing that these words spoken are the words complete and done. And in this sense of absolute thanksgiving, I release, I let go, and I allow it to be. And together we say,
And so it
and
is.
so it
So it is.
Amen. Amen. Aho. And woohoo!
God is so good. God is so good. God is so good. God's so good to me. God is my faith. God is my faith. God is my faith. God's so good to me. God is my strength. God is my strength. God is my strength. God's so good to me. God is my light. God is my light. God is my light. God's so good to me. God is my peace. God is my peace. God is my peace. God's so good to me. God blesses me. God blesses me. God blesses me. God's so good to me. God is so good. God is so good. God is so good. God's so good to me.
Yay.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was like the exclamation
It was.
mark on it.
Yes.
Thank you.
God is so good
All the time.
all the time.
Oh,
Amen.
Amen.
Aho.
Okay, we're going to take care of a little business here. We're inviting all those that are tuned in to us today to consider us as one of your giving places. It can be part of a tithe, it can be a tithe or just an offering. It keeps us going, and the gift you give is a power. A power what? A power move, because as you give, you're igniting power into the universe and opening up for the good to come back.
that's right.
It's just one of those laws of circulation. So we invite you to consider us in your givingness, and you can pay this way.
So if you use Venmo, you can use the QR code that's in the corner. The we also have a few ways to give on our website. So if you go to cslnorthmetro.org, there's a couple of ways to give there. If you use PayPal, you can use that. And there's other ways to take it from a credit card or directly from your checking account. And if you like to do the text, you can text YUGIVE to 888-364-GIVE.
Why you? I to give.
And so will you bless our offering?
So point your light energy towards the screen and repeat after me. Thank you, pure spirit.
Thank you, pure spirit.
I'm so grateful to give in this moment.
I'm so grateful to give in this moment.
I accept that it goes out and blesses many people.
I accept that it goes out and blesses many people.
Blesses the planet.
Blesses the planet.
Blesses me and all those who I love.
Blesses me and all that I love.
The giving is the getting.
The giving is the getting.
And so I let it be.
And so I let it be.
And so it is.
And so it is. Okay. Are we ready for some more music?
Yes.
Yes.
Yay.
Yay.
Yay. Oh, well, here's a song. It's fresh off the press from this week. It's written for a youth program. I'm not sure if we're going to actually use it, but we like it. And this is a message that we would have liked to have heard and said when we were little.
Yay.
So find your inner child, bring them out.
This is a debut.
Yes, a debut. It's called
Yay.
Let's Have Fun.
Yes.
Yes.
I see you, I hear you, and I love you. I see you, I hear you, and I love you. Let's have fun and be kind to one another. You're just fine the way you are. Let's have fun and be kind to one another. You're just fine the way you are. We see you, we hear you, and we love you. We see you, we hear you, and we love you. Let's have fun and be kind to one another. You're just fine the way you are. Let's have fun and be kind to one another. You're just fine the way you are. God sees you, God hears you, and God loves you. God sees you, God hears you, and God loves you. Let's be fun and be kind to one another. You're just fine the way you are. Let's have fun and be kind to one another. You're just fine the way you are. Let's have fun and be kind to one another. You're just fine the way you are. God sees you.
That's amazing. Thank you so
Wonderful.
much. You know,
Thank
I don't
you.
think that's just for kids either. I was sitting here thinking about sometimes if somebody does something that I think that should have been done just a little differently or this or that, if I could just say, I see you, I hear you, and I love you instead of that other thing I was thinking of saying, I could just bring a lot more joy into the world. Because
Yes.
most of the time, you do not need to say that other thing. So thank you for that.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. And thank you for being the first to hear this one.
I love that we get to hear your new songs.
Yay.
And thank you, Greg and Sheila.
Yeah.
You're very welcome.
Yes.
You guys,
We
you're so,
enjoy it.
I know, but it's just such a wonderful gift that you do each week. They're up in the cabin, wherever they go, they produce the show, and it's
And we appreciate it.
deeply.
Yes.
And thank you, Ernestine, your reading and your affirmations every week. We appreciate you and love you.
Absolutely. And Stefan for writing them.
Stephanie.
Yay.
And again, thank you for Barb and Sallow.
Oh, thank you. It is always a blessing and pleasure.
Yeah.
Nice to see and hear you guys. It was a lot of fun.
Absolutely. So we're inviting you to join us on Zoom right after this, and we'll get to know each other a little better, share our aha moments, and just say hi. There's a link on the bottom of the screen or else in the comments. And also the links are always on our website. So if you didn't happen to catch it any other way, cslnorthmetro.org, the links are there. And I think that's it. So yeah,
folks.
so we're just gonna, in absolute gratitude for this wonderful, wonderful day, for this wonderful service, for the sun that is shining, for the leaves that are changing, for everyone who helped us do this service this day, Greg and Sheila and Barb and Sallow and Ernestine and Ernest Holmes for being the reading, and Stefan for writing the affirmations and the prayer that you'll find also out on the website. I'm so grateful for this planet, grateful for the amazing life we get to live here, grateful for this day. I'm just in absolute gratitude. I just release this word. I let it go. I allow it to be. And together we all say, and
so it is.
Join us on Zoom. We'd love to see you.
Yes. Okay, have a great week, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.